coming to green. Race number 2 of the NASCAR Chat Series is underway. Pat and Nikita Mazepin lead us to green. Mazepin had a good early challenge for the lead in turn 1 and 2. Not so much anymore. 3 wide in behind Pat here on line 1. Well, pole sitter leads lap 1. We are probably going to see a good chunk of this race led by the same 1 or 2 cars. That would be my assumption. However, with the stages, with everything else, nothing guaranteed. Absolute chaos in behind Pat right now, though. As the 3 cars trying to check out. This is definitely going to be a race where we're going to want to watch the rest of the pack a lot more than we want to watch the front of the field. But then, of course, we start seeing that gap close up second to first, then we'll tune back in over there. Chat cars 1, 2, 3 right now. Pat, Squid, and Lucas as we race on lap 3. I mean, there just seems to be all sorts of chaos at the back part of the field right now. I don't even know if we want to take a look at this hornet's nest, but let's give it a go. Focusing in on Evo's 24. And I mean, they are all over the place, and even with the improvements to stability, it doesn't fix it entirely. AI just don't drive very good around here, but they do drive better. Evo's trying to Kyle Larson this thing. Right around the top of the wall. Almost got into, or one Papa Montoya almost got into him. Evo makes a couple of moves there around Red Wings, but that's the battle at the back of the pack right now. And then up here, I mean, it's not much better up here. It's Travis Pastrana's just about losing it. This shit here is just chaos. And really all it takes for this race to take a turn is an ill-timed caution, a bad pit stop, one of those cars up at the front of the field that's fast there in the early going, gets stuck back in this shit. I don't think you wait. I don't think you're getting back from that. Oh, we got a race for the lead up at the front right now. Pat, who's led the first 5 laps of this race after winning the pole, and is now awake, by the way. Getting challenged by Squid, and Lucas closing in as well. And Nikita Mazepin, who started second, also not terribly far behind. Something happened to me? Probably. Back in 18th place now. All it takes is just one car to get loose in front of you. It kills all your momentum. It takes you a whole lap to get it back. You're going to fall asleep when... I know it's only lap 8 of 267, but you could flag this thing. It's okay, it all goes up on YouTube anyway. So there was a challenge for a moment. Now Pat pulling away from the field again. Me and iRacing in close together. That's not exactly ideal. My car looks, one might say, ill handling. I mean, all these cars in the back really do. Interested to see as well if the AI make any sort of adjustments as this race will go on, as Austin has come down the pit lane. Well, let's get a check in here on this. So we're gonna see what happens to the 4 car right here, and it's the 43 that just squeezes Austin in the fence. So now back to live. Lap 11, and Pat has led all of them so far. Well, in Austin's pursuit of DFL, that's a pretty damn good start. Because remember what we saw at Daytona. The car that got in the first incident never recovered, finished last. Let's head back to the 43 car. Try and see if we can get a peek at the right side of this. See if there's any damage to our Daytona 500 winner. Not exactly the best look here. Let's go to TV2 instead. See if that perhaps gives us a bit of a better look. And I'm not seeing anything, but whoa, problems there. There's some now. I think I realized why I stayed on TV1. The 43 put in the wall by the 60 of Travis Pastrana, still rolling for the moment. We'll see if that car does come down the pit lane. It seems fine for the moment, but we definitely saw sparks fly. The AI do usually wait a lap after any damage to come in. I don't really know why. We'll see what the 43 does. Still staying up top for now. You was certainly clear low to come down to the bottom if you weren't planning on pitting, but right now that is not the case. Incident between Pastrana and the 43. We stay green, and 43 remains out on the track. Not sure what happened to Squid. He got passed by both Lucas and Nikita Mazepin. Dropping to 4th place, but still decent. Over a second gap to Mark Martin back in 5th. Well, there might be a little bit more attrition involved in this than we would have thought. 4 car is back out on track. Take a look at the final damage. 2 laps down for Austin so far. But you get to ride by yourself for a little bit, so I guess it's not all that bad. Matt continues to lead out front. 0.7 of a second gap on Lucas, but Lucas closing in just a little bit out of turn 4. Just the 4 car has come down pit road. 43 has not yet, so that damage on the right side must not be that bad. 36 way out of shape. You just see how much of a time the AI are having driving these cars. I'm just not certain they know how to race a track like Homestead. It really is kind of the only thing like it. So they are all kinds of loops. It's way better than it was, I do have to say. I mean, at the back of the pack in the tests that I did, about 50 laps each time, 2 tests, 20 car way out of shape. I mean, my God, it was top to the bottom. They were all over the place. It's like they were on the same tires for 100 laps. The 43 does break down. Ash as well. What happened here? Now, I think Ash just got forced low. 43 on the apron. Did we just finally find a way to get to the pit lane? Is maybe now we'll see a little bit better of a look at this right side of the car. I do see a little damage on the front, but not really that much on the side. There's a little scrape, but nothing I don't think that you couldn't have just continued onward with. But a little bit of karma for the 40. That was the one that put Austin on the wall. So does that mean Travis Pastrana's up next? Should we really just focus in on the 60? Oh God, I hope not, because here I come. These cars in the back cannot hold the line to save their damn lives. It is a big time struggle. Only 1 laps in at Homestead, Miami. I tried to take out Pastrana, sure. Although here he comes again. Maybe it's just going to be the 60 car on an absolute nuclear path. And yes, it is! The 60 puts me in the wall as well. Oh, no. And that was probably the hardest hit we've seen. There's damage on the back of the car, too. What in the hell? You had some funny business happen when the 43 tried to get down to the bottom of the track to come in and pit. 43 came down and you were down there and had to go all the way on the apron to just get around. Yeah, no shit. So Travis Pastrana has killed 2 cars very early. Not as much damage on the right as I thought there would be. And look at that. Look at that. Hey, our pit stalls are right next to each other. What a shot that is. And a shot that has been gifted to us by the 60 of Travis Pastrana. Well, it depends. Unironically, it depends. If my car is able to finish last, then I am unsponsored. If I finish 21st to 32nd, I want to say, then yes, it is indeed the poop car. Ash and Evo in close proximity, that got my attention. Evo kind of fallen back into his Mazda ways or Gran Turismo ways here so far here in this one. And by that I mean riding around at the back. Ash is kind of on the move. You can tell a little bit faster than these cars here in the back. Which new MLB player request? Probably not. Oh, Jesus, here comes Evo again. The 24 shot out of a cannon. And I don't really know what happened up at the front of the field, but all of a sudden, Pat's got a 2-second lead over Lucas. And Lucas is dropping quickly. Is there a problem with the 9? Or did Pat just find the nitrous button? I don't know. That 3 car is just gone. Let's check in on Rowdy Burns. Racing in tight with Yo Gamer. Bobby Labonte just behind. Burns had a good Daytona 500 showing as well. I think almost won a stage. I don't think he actually did, but 51 was up front a good bit. So it really is a battle now for those cars in the very back, just to try and make sure that you stay on the lead lap. We got a long way to go in this stage, so the way Pat's moving, I don't know if that's going to be the case. Labonte out here. Running top 10. No new additions in the pit lane. It's all part of the script. I struggled till Darlington, win 5 races, then almost die at Daytona. If those are the choices, then it's always the black and white. Check out on Smee here. Not in the pink car this time around. Smee going to carry numerous colors of prime on his Toyota this year. And Smee, oddly enough, has not been too much of an issue yet. What if we did blacks of the season and red for Darlington? I mean, we could. There's plenty of Earnhardt options out there of trading things. There really is. Quick check-in on the pit lane. Not looking good. Not looking good. I think it's a race between the Jordos for last place, which is not exactly what you want. What are the odds that both of us are punted by Travis Pastrana and then the pit stalls are right next to each other? We get that shot. Pat continues his checkout. Just touched a 3-second lead over Lucas here on lap 33. 48 laps remaining here in stage number 1. Who is the last car on the lead lap? Oh. Forget I said anything. Ash had speed. I don't know where it's gone. Oh, Jordo's out of the pit lane. Well, that's encouraging. However, 15 laps down. So we'll see when I'm able to come out. I think my car hit a lot harder. So I would not be surprised to come out last. Although I would much rather have the unsponsored car for Talladega than the poop car. You know, sometimes I just feel like the sponsorship dollars wouldn't be worth it. Slight change in pace in the front. Lucas closing in just a little bit more. Oh, that's not very good. I would have thought that she would like to stay in the pit lane and just kind of chill next to me, but apparently that's not the case. And the bad news for me is that I am 12 laps down, not 15. And if I finish in that 32nd place, which for the moment is a very good possibility, it is poop car. I didn't think I was going to get poop card the very first race. The hell is this shit? Thanks, Travis Pastrana. Where the hell are you? Gonna punt anyone else? What is this shit? That's lead back up over 3 seconds at the front of the field. What a shitty ski. Mine next time out at Talladega, yes. This one here too, also yes. I can't believe that that thing ever really ran in the Xfinity Series. So really spread out here for the moment. Reminder again, I do also have to check in on the Twitch rewards, make sure they are up and going. There are 2. Yep, the debris caution is enabled. 2 potential chat-induced debris cautions in this race. However, unlike Daytona, they will be disabled with 20 laps to go. They are still expensive as hell, though, as an incentive not to use them. About to hit the halfway mark of stage number 1. 40 laps in here at Homestead, Miami, of 267. Pat's gap is just all over the place. I mean, yeah, but hell, it's not as important as the Daytona 500. I'll drop him anyway. A sign of good faith. 7,500. Try that. Lucas once again back within 3 seconds of Pat as he begins his chase back towards the front. And he's actually making up good ground. I don't know if Pat had a problem coming out of turn 2 there or what the case was, but Lucas shaved about 0.2 of a second off of that lead that Pat had in just one straightaway alone. So now the gap about 2.5 seconds for the number 9. Nikita Mazepin still hanging around up front. 4 seconds off of Pat's lead. And even he's now gaining on Pat. Did Pat, when he just got out to this massive lead, use up his stuff? And now we're seeing him pay the price for that, as in about the course of a lap and a half, Lucas has shaved the full second off of that lead. Might be about time to start focusing in on the front of the field again, because Lucas is charging and charging hard. I actually have no idea how far these cars can go on fuel. I guess we shall see. Yeah, did you make it past on Evo? We'll come back to the front of the field here in a minute. We're not going to miss too much of anything. And yes, Ash is back around Evo for 29th. Evo's still lurking, and Austin a little bit further back, down the back straightaway. Man, Austin had DFL in the bag if he just crashed harder. But instead, he only took enough damage to put him down 2 laps. Nothing cool like what I did. My car hit the wall. Pat's lead at the front, down to 1.6 seconds. Lucas is on the move. And has been for the last 3 or 4 laps. Hey, the 43 got a lap back organically. Oh, yeah. Look at it. Did you see him get loose there? Under a second. The lead now for the number 3. Well, something tells me we're going to figure out fairly quickly just how long a fuel run is here at Homestead. Although now, that does kind of put a little bit more of a gap back to 1 second even on Lucas. Oh yeah, he's fighting that thing hard. That's the risk you take, going as hard as he did in that first First stint. Under half a second. Just don't let these two cars crash into each other, and then Nikita Mazepin just get the lead easily. First stage is not over until lap number 80. 34 to go in this opening stage. I mean, my God. Now they're both fighting it. I don't know if Lucas got loose there because Pat was loose in front of him. The race for the lead is now on. No, caution is way too far away to save you. We're at Daytona, which is 2.5 miles in length. It was about 45 to 47 laps, about the max you could go on a tank of fuel. So somebody figure out that math, I guess, but should be closing in here fairly soon. And it's just center of the corner every time. It's that car's just kicking up like he can't hold the bottom like he's trying. Lucas right on the back bumper. Not sure that's where I would want to be against a car that is very clearly lost its grip. Around 65. All right, well, we'll see. Honestly, if I was Pat, I'd consider coming in a little early. Because you know nobody can make it to the end of the stage anyway. Not likely to get a caution, I don't think. Ash has actually moved in pretty close with Carl Edwards. Trying to get back up through the field. There I am. Riding around 12 laps down, but with fresh tires, and my car is a rocket. Look at that thing go. See, there you get to see the difference that fresh tires are really making out here. My damaged piece of shit, it's still quick. Oh, Lucas could have a look to the inside. Entering turn 3, not this time. He got close. Brought it all the way back, and then it's just every time Pat gets loose, Lucas is getting loose in that same spot, and it looks like it's because he has to check up. I'm sorry, wait a minute. How did Austin lose more laps? He's 5 laps down now. Probably pitted under green, to be honest. Oh, uh-oh. Oh, no. Did something happen back here? Because all of a sudden, Nikita Mazepin's back in the mix, and Pat's lead is about up to a second again. Lucas will get back on it. Lap 54. Focused in on Squid, and he's even kind of getting back up in the mix. Only trailing the leader in Pat by 2 seconds here, and getting closer to Mazepin and Lucas. Our Mazda champion from last year. Also won the AI Indy 500. incredibly. I could just imagine all of these radios being just outrageous just because of, I mean, every single car on the track right now, outside of the cars that are laps down out of this race, are fighting for their lives. Come on, let me pit. Pat might not need that stage caution. Just for the moment. Getting extended yet again. Mazepin still threatening that second place. Well, the front of the field got a whole lot more interesting than I thought it was going to. Especially when Pat was up like 4 seconds. All of a sudden it got tight again. Yeah. And now we're going to use up Mazepin stuff. And then Squid's going to pass all three. Or, he's driving the Stone Cold car. Just come in and give a, whatever the motorsports version of a stunner is, to all three of them. And hand the lead to Mark Martin. Are still only 3 cars, 1 or more laps down in this race. Austin, myself, Jordan. Those are the 3. Come on! The hell is that about? You know who we haven't checked in on yet today? Natalie Decker. Riding around at 8th place. And quietly as well, and speaking of him, just made a pass. Dick Kuzmic around Mark Martin for 5th place. Means 4 of the top 5 are chat cars. Now, if I can just find a way to lose 3 more laps and finish last, that would be outstanding. Good news for those at the back of the pack, I do have to say that the gap about 20 laps into this race for those at the very back was about 20-23 seconds, somewhere in there, somewhere between lap 20 and lap 30. That really hasn't gone up all that much. In fact, it might have even gone down. Pit stops are closing in. 19 laps to go here in this first stage. We'll have a slight delay, of course, when the stage caution does fly. It won't fly as soon as lap 80 is over. That'll happen when the 10th place car comes across, so hopefully about 10 seconds is all we're going to need. But we saw that at Daytona, too. Yeah, well, outside of the cars that crashed, good news is hopefully these cars can come down pit road and figure some shit out. I think everybody needs to tighten them up. If it means you have to run the Larson line, I don't care. Do something. Tony Stewart just made a couple of passes. He is around Ricky Bobby, Carl Evans. Closing in on Max Verstappen. 74 fresh Goodyear tires. Fill her up with Sunoco racing fuel. Send me back out there. Oh, there it is. Pat with the move to the pit lane. Pitting from the lead. So Lucas out front for the first time today. Lap 65, right on the nose. Red Wings in the pit lane as well. Lucas going to come down this time. That will hand the lead, unfortunately, to Nikita Mazepin. It stops continue. We'll see how it all shapes out, see if there's any problems during this pit cycle. Our first true one of the day. Mazepin will drop to the bottom. So will Squid. So will Kuzmik. Pat is out of the pit lane. Yo Gamer's on the bottom. Everybody that has stayed out now. I feel like they're going to have to come down pit road right now. Oh, Jesus. You see Rowdy Burns getting onto the apron back there? Good God. Well, a couple cars in that group stayed out. Your leader, Terry Labonte. Gundy up front now. Caution could do. And of course, Austin stays out as well. You would think he's going to have enough to go to the end. Mark Martin has fallen a lap down, but I would assume that is because these guys have yet to pit. Bill Elliott, he will make his way in. Loose as well. I think they all get loose there on entry. Gundy going to take the lead here. Actually lead the lap, I think. From the pit lane. The entire top 10 is in the pits right now. So let's go back. Oh, look at this. Look at how that shaped up. Lucas and Pat tight together. Oh, that was close between the 3 and the 9. Oh. Good Lord. Side by side for the lead. Mazepin was loving that, but Pat trying to check out again. Oh. That was nearly disaster. Red Wings is still in the pit, so something happened to that car as well. And look at all the damage on the right side. Oh, man. Yeah, that got fucked up. Jesus Christ. I realized my problem before. I was looking at the wrong thing. But, let's go back here. Kind of see that side scraped up. You can see it better from back here. More damage on the front, though, than anything for the 71. Back to your leader. That could also throw a wrench in my tank for last place plans. Stage 1 just about done. That damage on Red Wings, that tells me that he is going to be probably more than 15 laps down. check on where that 71 was at in points heading into this. Whenever the hell it decides to load. Gap is less than a second from Lucas to Pat, but Pat's stretching that out again. That 3-car on fresh tires at the front of the field, I don't know if anybody's beaten that here today. It still looks like he's kind of fighting it, but considerably less than before. At least has some semblance of grip. Pit stops as well during the stage break could throw a wrench into some things. I don't know if you don't really gain a lot outside of just some fresher tires, I guess, by pitting during the stage break. Actually was a good pit sequence for Ash, up to 23rd now. Over a second. Pat with 6 to go in stage 1. By the way, that's a very bizarre hit count. How does one figure out that they have that? What? Wow. Not much. Right around with Ash. Uh-oh. Ash, abort. 60 of Travis Pastrana right in front. You've already seen what happens. You want nothing to do with that. Red Wings is still in the pit. I've moved up to 31st. Not looking pretty. And there it is. Red Wings currently still in the pit. Probably not coming out for a while. Getting a little pressure from behind here. The 55 of Jeff is back for 23rd place. The 55 are only going to make that move. Oh, never mind. Ash fights back on the bottom. 55 coming around again. That time the move should stick. Oh boy. Well, here's what started. Well, it didn't really start the whole thing. These 2 cars have been at the center of all of our problems here today, outside of Red Wings. We don't know what happened in there. 60 car and the 43. Red Wings is back out on track, 15 laps down. So there is still a chance if my car can get into some trouble again. Why would you throw a debris caution now? The stage ends in a lap. Why would you do that? Yellow flag comes out, I guess. Well, stage 2 underway, and Travis Pastrana parks it. Mazepin shot out of a cannon. He boogied everybody. Holy shit. He's got a 1 second lead. It's rapidly dropping, but good God. Catch the entire field off guard there, or what the hell was that? Nikita Mazepin stays out, and those tires apparently have enough, because that was interesting. So, of course, we're going to want to watch 5th and 6th right now. Pat and Lucas. Pat has been up front all day. In fact, these are the first laps that he has not led. Sitting back in 5th place. How will that car survive not being in the front of the field? Good news is there's not a lot of traffic around him. But with everyone bunched back up together again, I think the move is to watch back in the pack here, and oh my God, what is this, Daytona? Jesus Christ. We're 3 wide a good chunk of the way through the field. Ricky Bobby just about lost it. Oh. Not exactly where anybody over here wants to be. Ego's all over the place. Everybody's all over the place. We're on lap 87. Let's take a look a little bit farther up. Caleb trying to make a move on Bill Elliott, Rowdy Burns, Haley Deegan right up in front of them. Both the Labonte brothers in close proximity. Oh, watch out. Pablo Montoya on the inside of Caleb. Back to this mess yet again. I do not like any of what is happening here. This just screams somebody's about to die. Following along with Will Power on lap 89. Oh, Edwards. Edwards in the body. That was nearly terrible. The body about got left rear hooked. Center of the with how fucked the entry is for some of those cars. Oh, Verstappen nearly came up on Ricky Bobby back there. But those cars that are running the high line, their entry doesn't look very good at all. Then they slide up the racetrack. I can't believe some of them don't hit the wall. Mazepin continues to lead. Pastrana, Tony Stewart, Dale Earnhardt Jr. Lucas, your highest placing chatter for the moment, who's gotten his way back around Pat again. Yeah, that was close too. If all of these cars survive back here, it might actually be a miracle. I am amazed that nobody has wrecked yet. Nothing's gonna happen. After what we saw in the beginning of the race, I'm not so sure. Although I guess Travis Pastrana has gotten his way now. He's gotten back to the front, or to the front, I guess, for the first time here today. It's Carl Edwards. Here. Body slamming. Well, it's calm enough back here. We'll head back up to the front of the field. And we have a race for the lead developing here. Nikita Mazepin, Travis Pastrana. Pastrana, who's single-handedly wrecked 2 cars here in this race. Battling up for the lead. Of course, there is the chat action back here. Lucas and Pat just cannot get away from each other. Clearly the two fastest chat cars of the day. Back up front, we'll see how good this gets. Although I guess it depends on your definition of good as well. Probably. Actually, you know what? That 60 car is probably illegal. He just had to take a little bit of damage first. Austin's going to have a heart attack when he turns this on. Nikita Mazepin is leading, and he's not last. These two seem to race pretty well up at the front of the field, though. I'm wondering if it just might not matter too much who's up here, but as long as you're up here, you might be able to run away and you're not in the chaos. Everyone survived in the back of the pack so far. Is it still chaos? No, not really. It's calmed down drastically back here. I say is Verstappen. Snappy sideways. Yeah, and Pat is falling a little bit. Down to 7th. I was really expecting the way that car... Well, so much for that. Back up to 6th. Really expecting the 3 car to get back up there and just get back to the way it was there in that first stage. Dale Jr. right now, an absolute rocket. But back in the traffic, you just never know what can happen. Oh, Dale. Oh, Dale. Don't want to see Pat stay in. It's been too good of a day. A story of the 3 different stages here in this one. However, we're not seeing the similar struggles with Lucas right now, who's holding on to 4th, trying to catch up to Tony Stewart for 3rd. Even though there is about a not quite 2-second gap between Pastrana and Mazepin. What is happening up here? Travis Pastrana to the lead. There's a surprise. Our 3rd leader of the day, not much of a factor in the early stages outside of the involvement in 2 different crashes. It was never really a threat up at the front of the field. He took out his clear competition, right? He took out my car because he knows the race is rigged, of course. And then he took out the Daytona 500. Pastrana right now could do the same thing that Pat did if he's got the speed in his car, of course, where you get out to too big of a lead, you just use everything up. Nothing goes good. But Mazepin back around the 60. 101 coming to a close. Check in on Pat again. Riding by himself now, losing touch with Bill Elliott just a little bit. Still looking to be a good day for Pat points-wise. Especially with the cars that were threatening him up at the top. Not really involved. Obviously, the 43, 13 laps down. But where's Caleb sitting in this race? 17th? I want to say Caleb was up there in points, too. Flashed over the points. Dale Jr.'s falling back just a little bit. Mark Martin as well. Pat got around Bill Elliott while we were yapping. Pastrana took the lead back away again. Stretched it to half a second. Those 4 cars staying out might have just been what this race needed. Because now we've got an actual good battle for the lead here. It's just back and forth between Pastrana and Mazepin. Wendy's still sitting P11 again. That would be a great points day after what happened at Daytona. Point standings right now. Especially if something bad were to happen to Pat, if he falls back in the traffic or anything, point standings can take an absolute flip on their head. These two here, Pastrana and Mazepin, they don't really stretch their lead out over about more than a half a second. Take a little ride around Homestead Miami Speedway on board with Travis Pastrana. Gone in car much today. Figured we'd try. Pastrana leads by a second. Oh, whoa! There are some problems somewhere on the racetrack. Tony Stewart, what happened? Tony Stewart, Rowdy Burns. We're going to throw a yellow flag here, actually. I don't know why one didn't come out. Tony Stewart and Rowdy Burns had problems. Our first real yellow flag of the race. Tony Stewart and Lucas racing for third. Lucas got loose and, oh, hard impact right in front of Pat, too. And where does Rowdy Burns come into this? Was his incident potentially separate? It might have just been, because Stewart parks it on the apron down here. So yeah, we had an entirely separate incident. So then the airborne for, or the blimp cam rather, for Rowdy Burns' crash, and kind of his own fault. He got punted by Jeff, but he got loose and came down in front of Jeff anyway. Take a look at the front damage on Burns' car. Oh yeah, not good. And then of course let's find Stewart as well. Stewart's car absolutely destroyed. We'll go on board with Tony Stewart, the harder of the two heads, side by side with Lucas, and where is it? Yup, bang. Hood came flying up. Tried to keep it going, but way too much damage in front of that thing. Our back out in front after the yellow flag. Pat doesn't get going at all. And Lucas this time, that outside lane just goes. Pat drops back to third off the restart, and Natalie Decker is into second place. And now again, we got to watch out for the absolute chaos that's going to happen in the back of the pack now. Who knows? Bill Elliott all over. Both Rowdy Burns and Tony Stewart showing out of this race, by the way. damage might have just been too much. So Lucas leads after his good restart. Natalie Decker, though, looking to make it over the inside. By the way, of course there are times that I sound Canadian. This is North Michigan. Natalie Decker to the top spot. Leading, I think, for the first time all season. I can't remember if Natalie Decker led a lap at Daytona or not. Probably, but don't really recall. So, while this is shaping out the front of the field, let's head back to the back of the pack, where we know is where things tend to get interesting off restarts. Oh boy! Smee in the 43 did make contact, not all that hard. Right as we made the camera switch. I mean, I don't know how anybody's gonna... I don't know how we're gonna be able to get through this without a massive incident again. Our first two actual retirements of the season. Burns' car didn't look all that bad. Burns' incident looked like a lot of what had happened earlier. Not the case, so they will shuffle to the back. Rowdy Burns going to get credited with a last place finish here in this one after a pretty good showing at Daytona. Tell it might have been contact between 43 and 4. Boys fighting. Not really fighting for much of anything, but still going on after their early incidents. A little bit farther up. Oh my god, we're 4 wide. We are fucking 4 wide. Evo, Caleb, Bobby Labonte, that was tight. They somehow got through it. Natalie Decker, your leader, by almost a second. Bill Elliott. Oh. How has nobody died? Hey, look at Evo. He cracked the top 20. Because, I mean, all it's going to take is that car on the bottom slides up into the car in the middle lane, and then having a car on the outside to make one of these things just massive. Yeah, well, at least he's showing you it can be done. Still plenty of time left to go this race. Not even halfway yet. We are closing in. Well, that's really unfortunate about Rowdy Burns, because that does solidify me driving the boot car at Talladega. Evo has a little damage on his right front, clearly not affecting the car too much, probably just a scrape or something, but there is something there. He's on the bottom of the racetrack, so if he wanted to pit, he could. Dega is late April. All of our races coincide with races on the actual NASCAR schedule. They will be the Wednesday, I think, before the actual race would happen. Ooh, Verstappen! I made contact with the wall there. Verstappen might have squeezed me up in there. Well, there's not a chance for DFL any. Actually, wait, is there? Let that ticker cycle back around. No, there's not a chance for DFL. Wish we could do the races on Tuesday. I mean, we could. I just picked Wednesday just cause. Big problems back here. What's going on there? What was that? Bobby Labonte with some issues. Right side damage. He misses the pit lane. Is he going to park it? Or is he going to continue on? We're going to have to watch the 18 here. If he just parks it on the racetrack, apron or not, we're going to have to bring out the yellow flag. Bobby Labonte was up front at one point today. He's still rolling around, and I mean, I would say whatever contact doesn't look that bad, but he actually, it does look like he hit the right front pretty hard with something. I'm not sure this race needs another yellow flag. So we're rooting for Bobby Labonte to get back to the pit lane and actually come down to pit lane. He will do that this time. So we avoid a yellow flag condition there. Which for Natalie Decker is a great thing to see. 1.5 second lead here on lap 124. Second, Pastrana third, Dale Jr. in fourth. Keaton Mazepin, Will Power, Yo Gamer, Terry Labonte, Pat and Ricky Bobby round out the top 10. As ever since the stage where 4 cars stayed out, what looked like it was going to be just a battle at the front of the field between Pat and Lucas the entire day, hasn't really shaped out that way. Although, hey, if you want to be technical, I'm always DFL in these things. I should just drive the unsponsored car anyway. Do that. If it's poop car you want, poop car is what you'll get. Natalie had 2-second lead on Travis Pastrana, who's got a little bit of company, by the way. This is some of the tightest racing we've kind of seen up front in some time. Will Power going to make a move on Lucas, who appears to be kind of falling like a rock right now. Dale Jr. just about put himself in the I'm sorry, did Austin come down the pit lane again? Oh no, never mind. He just passed Bobby Labonte. Like, wait a damn second. Keaton Mazepin sitting third. Travis Pastrana second. He's kind of pieced out by about a second over this group. Bobby Labonte, it does appear, will be able to come back out on track. Let's see when that might be. Evo's still sitting 19th, and he just made a move to the bottom of the track. Is it the 24? Coming down the pit lane here? Now, it's hard to tell. Yes, he is. Coming in at full speed, though, so I don't think it has anything to do with the damage. We're going to sit here and watch a pit stop for a few seconds. Or I guess we'll just keep an eye on it as things go along. That could be scheduled. We have pit strategy all over the place right Max Verstappen has had his hands full since that car's last pit stop. And really before that, too, but Oh, yeah. Not out of the pit lane yet. Still sitting in here. I don't know. This might be something we want to take a look at. Either that or he just decided that he couldn't deal with the damage anymore. I have no idea. So let's watch this coming out of turn 2. It's what we saw happen to the 43 earlier. Verstappen. Yep, put the 24 in the wall. It literally could have been any other driver other than Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen has doored Evo into the wall. Bradley Decker continues to lead. Nikita Mazepin is closing in. And rapidly, look at the 41. Race to the line, won by Decker this time around. Nikita Mazepin back to the front. For the first time in quite some time, and look who's following him. Travis Pastrana in the 60. Decker back to the inside. Pastrana just watching it all unfold. Oh, boy. We don't need a wreck at the front of the field. Come on, guys. Our highest placing chatter for the moment, Yo Gamer in 7th. Lucas is dropped to 9th. Squid back in the top 10, rounding it out. Pat's all the way down in 15th, 16th now. Right around with the 3 cars, see if there was any damage that this one took. Austin's still riding around. I don't see anything. We do have to remember, though, that the 3 was one of those 5 cars that under yellow did stay out. So that car's last pit stop would have come around about lap 83. Because Pat did pit under the stage caution. As well as just about everybody else. Front of the field, Travis Pastrana. By half a second over Nikita Mazepin. A rebound for Ricky Bobby as well. I haven't really mentioned him much throughout this one. Back up inside the top 10. And hey, actually, hey, credit to Ash, 22nd place. We're making moves. Next car in line for Ash to get by would be actually Pat, as the 3 continues to fall, nearly contact the Smee. Right as we went up there. Yeah, you gotta imagine Pat's just struggling on tires. We'll head to TV3, just try a different angle, see if we can see any damage on this. Actually, TV2 might give us a better look. No idea. Hopefully get a good look at that right side. I still just don't see anything. It's got to be handling related. I have no idea. The car that was so fast throughout this race has just fallen through the field. It's how quickly things can change. About to be 26 laps to go here in stage 2. Pastrana's gonna wreck his way to the win, and he's gonna do it. My poor hot and now car had to make the ultimate sacrifice for Travis Pastrana. Which, oddly enough, it's running pretty good for taking the worst hit of the cars that are still running. It's even able to pass Pat. How about we go cockpit for my car and see what the hell my driver's doing with the steering wheel. This ought to be interesting. Safe to say, fighting it. But that kind of goes for everybody today. There have been no additional casualties since April. 7 laps down and 27th place. So looking at Pastrana, that car would have pitted. Oh, no, never mind. It pitted under the yellow flag we've had here in Stage 2. Pastrana's going to be fine to make it to the end. I think every other car will have a pit stop remaining. And by every other car, I mean those 5 that stayed out. Which is going to potentially, I mean, be catastrophic for their race. And I mean, even Lucas, for as good of a day as he was having, he's back down into 16th place now. Staying out under that yellow did not work out. So now it's just a fight to stay on the lead lap. Changes remain on that 3. It was not for the better. And the 9 car, for that matter. These two just about untouchable. In that first stage. Not the case anymore. First car lap down, Austin in 26th place. Right in behind Lucas there. First car lap down, of course, is 4 laps down. After falling victim. He fell victim to Peaches. That's what happened. Austin wasn't even there for that, but he's going to be saying fuck Peaches as well. Oh boy. Speaking of that, Austin just about got Lucas there. Gap continues to grow at the front of the field. Travis Pastrana just about up by 3 seconds. Nikita Mazepin, who sits second. Dale Earnhardt Jr. almost 5 seconds back. And then Natalie Decker, who led for a good part of this stage. Now back into 4th place. Terry Labonte sitting in 5th, followed by Ricky Bobby and Yo Gamer and Will Power. We have Squid sitting 9th and D. Kuzmic, just a very quiet top 10 run. Max Verstappen, for all of that car's struggles, sitting in 11th. $30, the 36 car in 12th. Caleb, all of a sudden, might wind up being your points leader by the end of this day if this result holds. Gundy, the 48 car, runs 14th. Andy Deegan in the 38, 15th. Jeff, who didn't have a good qualifying effort, was not having a good first stage. running safely mid-pack right now. 17th is Juan Pablo Montoya. Lucas running 18th. Pat 19th, as those two still just can't get away from each other no matter how hard they try. Smee 20th. Jacques Villeneuve, whose name we haven't mentioned today, 21st for the moment. Ash trying to get around him for that spot, blocked off by Smee. Back, Carl Edwards, 23rd. Mark Martin, who was running top 5, top 6 all of that first stage, is now back to 24th place. I mean, my goodness, and the last car in the lead lap was Bill Elliott, except Natalie Decker is in the pit lane, although this might be scheduled. I don't see any damage worthwhile on this car. Nope, yep, scheduled pit stop for Natalie Decker, so all is fine there. But a green flag pit stop when just about everybody else should be able to make it to the end of the stage, not going to be good. In terms of the cars, multiple laps down. Austin sits 26th, 4 laps down. Evo 27th, we saw his incident. He is 7 laps down. Myself, thank you to Travis Pastrana, your current leader, 28th. I want to say still 11 laps down. Bobby Labonte back out on track, sitting in 29th. He's 13 laps down. This here actually is for position between the 18 and the 43, but the 18 much fresher tires. Not going to be much of a contest there. The 71 of Red Wings is 31st. Want to say still 15 laps down. That is the case. And then Tony Stewart and Rowdy Burns out of this race as we cycle back to the front of the field. "13 laps to go in stage 2. Pit stops are occurring here. Decker, Lucas, Pat, Mark Martin, and Bill Elliott so far have pitted under green and fallen down at least 1 lap. Let's see how far back they actually are. Okay, they are all 1 lap down. That's good news for those cars. I just think that strategy backfired so much. And I actually thought that was going to work with Lucas and Pat. And those cars did so well at the front of the field in that first stage that I really didn't see any way that it failed. Well, it failed. Because we weren't really that deep into stage 2. I didn't think the tires were going to have that much of an impact, but it was indeed the case. And we'll see if the math is right. I don't really remember when that caution hit, how deep we were into the second stage. But I thought at the time, and I've said it since, that I think everybody that pitted after that is going to be able to make it to the end of stage 2. So we'll see if that's the case or not. And we'll be all back on a level playing field. You would assume. However, those 5 cars that had to pit under green just there, they don't really have much of a choice other than to stick to their current strategy. Take a wave around. It's about the only chance you're going to get. Take a wave around and then stay out, unlike Austin. Ash into the top 20 for the first time in a long time, but pit cycle has just about everything to do with that, at least at the moment. Natalie Decker has no, I don't think she's unlapped herself. No, there we go. Live timing, live. Not really sure there is in terms of major intrigue going on right now. I don't think Labonte and the 43 are really still battling. No. I mean, it's just seeing just a couple laps the difference that those fresh tires have made on those two cars. Who would have thought that losing 15 laps in the first stage of this race would not guarantee you a last place finish? I was not expecting any retirements today, it's for damn sure. Especially after we didn't have any in Daytona, but we didn't see anybody crash with the violence that Tony Stewart did. Well, barring any craziness here, 6 to go on the stage, Travis Pastrana is going to run away with it. The stage points here. Take a look back at what Pastrana did. He finished 8th after, let's see, where did he start? Pastrana started 6th at Daytona. Good solid opener for him. Could be a good points day. Like I said, the field filler IRL drivers, I am keeping track of their points. It's not involved with the chat point standings. It's in the same spreadsheet, but it's only just for fun to kind of look at. Nikita Mazepin over 3.5 seconds back from Pastrana. That gap stayed pretty consistent. I can't imagine much of anybody has anything left on their tires right now. Limping home, stage 2 for Pastrana. And what an eventful day for that car. Killed J Squared, leading the race. Oof. Yeah, now if Travis Pastrana comes to Snowdrift, now we gotta be mad at him, right? What? Yeah. Yeah, he wrecked us both. We got a sad little shot of our cars right next to each other in the pit lane after Travis Pastrana killed us. Pits are closed for stage 2. Travis Pastrana coming around to take the 1 to go. Again, going to be about a 10-second differential between when Pastrana crosses the line and when Dalasign or whoever finishes 10th in the stage crosses, so we can officially end the stage. So much for pits being closed. Jacques Villeneuve pitted. I'm not sure if there was any damage there. I guess we'll check on that in a moment. But to come across the line and win stage 2, Travis Pastrana. I barely made it back in time, and I have no idea what happened under the yellow flag and why Travis Pastrana is now 5th. I can only assume that Nikita Mazepin, Ricky Bobby, Dale Jr., and Terry Labonte have stayed out. That would be the assumption. Got a clean restart for the first time since the very beginning of this race. And now we hope for no chaos. So, confirmed during that stage break, because Jacques Villeneuve's still in the pit lane. He is in there for damage reasons. That's why he said, fuck the pits being closed. And oh no. I think those cars that were on that bad strategy must have stayed out. At least a couple of them. Pat, Mark Martin, and Lucas trapped the lap down for the time being. So as Mazepin checks out, let's head back to the back of the field yet again and see if we are lucky enough to make it through this chaos yet again. Oh, Caleb just about creamed Max Verstappen. I have no idea of all the wrecks that we've had today, how none of them really, outside of Pastrana, in the early stages, the first 10 laps of the race or whatever, every other wreck has come when everybody's mostly spread out. Ash and Redmond's are a wagon over there. I thought Verstappen was going to come and squeeze Ash up. Not the case. Retirements in this race, Rowdy Burns, Tony Stewart. Separate incidents that brought out the yellow flag. Ash needs to get away. Verstappen as well as Ash and Evo acquaintances. Oh, Jesus, Haley Deegan, and I think Red Wings up there. Smee just dropped like a rock. There's 6 cars. How do they navigate any of this? Ash loose. Oh, boy. Oh, and then Verstappen got loose on the high side. Not ideal. Well, we've got a potential battle for the lead on our hands, and it is a chat car. In fact, 2 chat cars. Sitting second and third, D. Kuzmic, B. Dollarsign. How about that? Squid, who's been up front most of the day, sitting 6th. And look at Jeff inside the top 10, sitting in 9th. What the hell? A Jeff win would go hard. We all have to be honest here. By the way, I don't really know much of anything. I haven't talked to Jeff about this, but hopefully soon, those who came to the channel, you know, post 2020, what did we come back? 2023? 2023. Post 2023 comeback over here. Never really got the chance to see Jeff or do anything. It appears that he's doing something with the old YouTube channel again, so when there's some action up there, be sure to check that out. The Millennial Man Cave on YouTube. Haven't posted content in I don't even know how many years. Mazepin remains your leader, D. Kuzmic. Head back into the Hornet's Nest. Ash and Evo still racing in tight. The rivalry just will not die, will it? Looks like she's making moves. I don't know where on track this is. It's 19th, so not really, but car looked fast around the outside. Never really want to be in behind Smee, though. Martin trying to get around the inside. Spent a lot of time focusing on the 46 here in this one, but it's been just a good target because it's been back in this slew of craziness. Really, ever since the first start. No incidents to speak of, which is good to see. I'm always worried that I'm gonna see red on the event list. We don't like red, we like teal. Teal's good. It doesn't give me notifications for every bit of damage anybody takes, but when somebody truly crashes, it does pop that up, which is, I'm glad I found this and have used this for both our ticker and, you know, just camera control, because I can just go around do boop, 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 if I really wanted to. That's terrible. iRacing live timing is a very, very useful tool. Front of the field, D. Kuzmic yet again challenging Nikita Mazepin. Oh, we've seen this before with Lucas and Pat. You know what? No, I don't think I will. Am I still back there? Oh no, I passed. Pat's made it around too, but neither of these two are for position. Me and Pat are just ruining Ash's day. Jesus Christ, Pat. A car that led every lap of stage number 1 has turned into just a shitter in the back of the pack. Travis Pastrana has dropped outside the top 10. Really feels like both of the alternate strategies have failed. And the cars that just, for the most part, consistently pit. I mean, outside of Mazepin. I mean, Mazepin has really been up front ever since. I mean, he was up front at the start of the day anyway, but he's just made the right moves. Stayed out when he needed to and worked out enough for 41 to be up front. 83 laps to go in this race. Now we do have a battle for the lead between Kuzmic and Mazepin, which could open the door for Vidal Sign to enter this picture about a half a second back. Villeneuve, by the way, came back out on track 9 laps down. Pretty hard hit on the right front of that 27. Mazepin holds off Kuzmic for now. Here he comes again, though. To the inside, he's got the space and the dive. The 33 back to the lead. And I thought this was everything that Dalasan was going to need to see to get up into this picture, but he's actually fallen back a little bit. Just over a second back of these front two. Evans last Burns last overall. Bill Elliott has made his way back on the lead lap, although that might have been via free pass during the stage break. I don't know, I wasn't here. which is going to make pit strategy for stage 3 a little bit of a mystery, because I did miss, for the most part, who stayed out and who didn't. I thought I had way more time. I didn't think I was going to sit back in the chair right when we were right when the pace car came in. Still quite a long way to go. So with this many laps in this final stage, is it... I mean, it could be one stop, I guess. In fact, I think it is. Kuzmic trying to get some separation and build the lead over Mazepin. How about Jeff? Jeff up to 7th. Let's see who our biggest movers of the day are. In the right direction, Ricky Bobby sitting in 4th right now, up 29 spots from the start of this race. And our biggest loser, by the way, Terry Labonte also plus 25. Our biggest losers of the day, well, right now, Pat, who has lost 23 places as your pole sitter. Bobby Labonte has lost 22. Rowdy Burns, 30 places down where he started. It's getting close up front again. Couple tenths of a second between Mazepin and Kuzmic. Lead had stretched out a little bit. How about a caution-free final stage? Wouldn't that be lovely? I don't think we're going to get that look. Although they're in stage 2 after the 1 wreck, they did seem to kind of straighten out a little bit. Two still tight, dollar sign about 2 seconds back in here. Look who else in the top 10. Not only Dale Earnhardt Jr. yet again, but fucking Haley Deegan. Not been much of a factor. Will Power also playing off Travis Pastrana. Oh, good God. Well, so much for fighting off Pastrana. Will Power just about killed them both. I was looking at chat. I was looking anywhere but the screen, and then all of a sudden we almost had 2 cars die. Also, terrifyingly enough, Smee is flirting with the top 10. I mean, no wonder these cars are so slow. They got no grip. I mean, just listen to what they have to do in here. Just he's playing with the throttle, playing with it, getting loose again. Trying to find anything. Over the field, your race right now for the lead. We'll try and stay towards the front as much as we can, as long as there's a bit of a close battle going on. Right now, that is the case. And you know what? This is probably a jinx. This might be one of the first iRacing races that we have ever done for the Twitch chat stuff where nobody's ran it out of gas. I feel like even at Daytona we saw that. Either that or I'm so used to it happening that I don't even know anymore. Look at this, don't let Ricky Bobby get involved. Gained 29 spots on the day. It's 3 more. Nothing really going on here. Let's check in with the cars a lap down. First is Mark Martin. If there were to be a yellow flag, as things got very tight there with Max Verstappen, Mark Martin would be the recipient of a free pass. Pat, the second car a lap down. Yeah, you see, this just stinks to see right here. 13 just running with Pat, the pole sitter, the leader for the entire first stage. I got taken out by Travis Pastrana, who's back up to 9th now, by the way. Lucas, third car lap down. And I mean, this deep into a fuel run, you're not going to be able to take a wave around in that spot. It's just not gonna happen. Your 3 cars, 1 lap down. Boston remains 4 laps down. 25th. Evo has moved up a place with the damage to the shock Villeneuve. 26th place, so Villeneuve is 27th. Myself, 28th, just saw me. Bobby Labonte right in front of Evo, who's just about wrecking it. Sitting 30th. Behind Evo. All these cars that have had trouble in the day, they're all just in the back here still. Red Wings limping it around. Still probably halfway home by now. So, the stage caution went at lap 165. So pit stops aren't imminently close, but we are closing in on them, probably in about 20 laps or less, depending on the cars that stayed out, like a Nikita Mazepin, potentially. And we saw how that worked out for the cars that did that and didn't get the help of a caution in stage 2. Mazepin was one of the ones that tried it early on, and it worked out. Not so much for Pastrana at the end of the day, even though Pastrana is creeping his way back up. Oh, Ricky Bobby all of a sudden has fallen 4 places, loosened up his stuff. Not 204, not to take 205. 267, 63 laps to go. Not sure I ever screen printed or even went over the stage 2 results. It was Pastrana, Mazepin, Dale Jr., Ricky Bobby, Yo Gamer, Terry Labonte, Will Power, D. Kuzmik, Squid, and Vidalazan that were your stage point recipients for stage 2. Mazepin had gotten back around Kuzmik, but Kuzmik back at him again. I don't know how some of these cars that have been this loose all day long have not just lost it. I thought I had just heard somebody crash, but there's nobody else really over here. So I don't know, just some funny noises. Thought I heard something, but nothing popped up. stretching that lead out again. Started mid-pack. And just... I had said it late stage 1 and in stage 2 as well, that 33 had just had a quietly good run going. And here it is, battling it out with Daddy's Money Nikita Mazepin for the lead here at Homestead. Ash is certainly trying for the redemption run up to 17th, but still trapped in with these cars whose races have been derailed. The 43, the 9, the 87 of Verstappen has fallen back quite considerably. Natalie Deckard, who led at points in stage 2. So back in there now. When will that first pit stop domino fall? Have to imagine somewhat soon. Because with 58 to go in the race, you know you can make it to the end now. But do you want to be... I mean, just having no grip left at the very end? No, of course not. But if you can split that difference just enough here at the end, time it right with the stop, it could mean a world of difference. Jeff in 7th, Ricky Bobby back up to 6th. Squid been in the top 10 most of the day, albeit never really threatening the lead in the 316. Haven't really talked about that car much, but it's got a threat from Travis Pastrana lurking in behind. Not what anybody wants to see. These are 2 winners from our Mazda MX-5 Cup Chat Series last year. Pastrana late in the season, I believe at the Charlotte Oval. Squid wound up being the champion of that series. Judging by today, let's see what Squid did at Daytona. Not much. No stage points, 28th place finish. A good strong effort here in this one to kind of rebound his season. Now Pastrana makes it back around. There is not much of a battle up front currently between Kuzmic and Mazepin. 0.3 of a second is the difference. However, back in 3rd place, Vidal Sign has closed in and might be thinking about a move around Mazepin. At 41 has been in 1st or 2nd for seemingly so long, with not much pressure from behind. And really, when we get these 2-car breakaways so far here today, a 3rd car hasn't really gotten up in the mix all that often. 36 save his stuff just enough. Or was he not one of the ones that stayed out and has a little bit more left? About a half a second separates these 3 as the 36 looks to the inside of Mazepin, but will duck back in behind. But then, back to 4th. 4 seconds back is Terry Labonte. on the lead lap. We're just waiting. When that domino will fall, when the pit stops will start. Will anybody go off sequence and perhaps pit off their strategy and pit more so with the leaders? I don't know what that really gets you. Never know what's possible. And this final stage is long enough that those cars at the back of the pack, if they continue to be slow, they be at risk of falling a lap down. Not like it's that crucial late in the race. We do have a pit stop. Let's take a look here. Uh-oh, we got damage on the right front of Ricky Bobby. I think we figured out why. So here we go. This is Ricky Bobby heading into turn number 2. And he got loose. He got loose again. Jeff came up a little bit. Sent Ricky Bobby hard into the wall, and that good day that the 62 is having comes to an end and looks like that. Go back and take a look at that. I don't think I saw any damage on that car, though it's hard to tell with this race going on as long as it has a lot of rubber debris on the front, but I think that 94 looks fine. Kuzmic has stretched the lead out over a second. Over new second place, $3. 36. And what would be the RCR 33. Mazepin not out of this yet, but we know he was one of the ones that has just been off strategy all day. Can't imagine he's got much left. Got a couple more cars in the pit lane. Myself and Jordo pit together again. That is all scheduled. That is all right. Back up to the front. One last shot at us together in the pit lane. D. Kuzmic got it right on the strategy and staying out of trouble all day to bring this home, or does somebody have a more genius strategy out there? Austin's number 4 has entered the pit lane. I don't think I see any new damage on that. I would imagine that is scheduled as well, given that we just had a couple of other lapped cars come into the pits. Austin will lose another lap, but let's be honest, it's what he wants. The race for DFL actually might be looking fairly good for him after this race. Finished 31st at Daytona, only good for 4 points. See how it shapes out. Kuzmic stretches that lead once again over half a second over $. We're not going to fully lose daylight, I wouldn't think, here at Homestead, but the sun is setting. Will be exciting to finally get our first night race underway, which I'm going to look up and see if I can tell you when that will be. Not Talladega. Well, our first actual night race is going to be the All-Star race, the Channel and the All-Star race in North Wilkesboro. That currently scheduled for May 14th. Our first points night race, May 21st, the Coke 600. Not going to Richmond in the early parts of the season. Not going to Richmond at all this season. Maybe next year. Plenty of cars a lap down right now. Pit stops were occurring, I would think. Yeah, Nash is coming up off the apron. That'll all cycle back around when our leader, D. Kuzmic, does make that move. We're coming to 40 to go. Straight Talk 400. Second race in the NASCAR Chat Series from Homestead Miami Speedway. Haley Deegan, Caleb, Yo Gamer have pitted. Nikita Mazepin and Haley Deegan as well. Squid has already made his pit stop. So it is coming. And how good of a stop can everyone get? Everybody's pit crew skill is rated the same in the terms of fairness and not rigging things. However, that doesn't mean they act the same every race all the time. Still no indication from D. Kuzmic that he is coming down the pit lane. B. Dollar signs, take a look back at him. Neither will he. Max Verstappen cracks the top 10 again. Bobby's still in the pit lane, down to 27th. We'll see if he has to sit there for long enough to the point that he might come out behind Red Wings and might be last on track when this thing ends. Bobby Labonte has come back down the pit lane. Could be scheduled, could not be. I mean, that car's been through so much, I don't really know. We'll come back and check on Bobby here in a second. The way this strategy is shaped out, right now there are only 11 cars on the lead lap. It'd be a bad time for a caution. You say that. Back to Bobby Labonte. He is fine. Okay. Good to see. So right now, incident-free here in Stage 3. Jeff will pit from 10th. Didn't Jeff already pit? Is that damage? Is that damage on the 55? Oh, a good run going for Jeff. Enters turn 2. Mazepin is a mile back, and Mazepin just came right up into him. All right, pit stops. While we were taking a look at the incident, D. Kuzmic did come down the pit lane, so this is your current leader, B. Dollarsign. So much for that. Back to the lead, the 60 of Travis Pastrana. Well, no direct DFL for you today. You were the first car that had an incident very early on in this race. Your car got smashed into by Chordo, went 5 laps down at the time. But yet, as the cars keep dropping like flies, you have moved your way up to 24. Jeff stays in the pit lane. Travis Pastrana, Dale Earnhardt Jr. pit from first, second. Max Verstappen is going to pit from third, which means Nikita Mazepin might just come around. And I don't know what the hell Mazepin did, but he might come away with the lead here. Kuzmic all of a sudden is way far behind. Mazepin jumped 2 cars by a massive number, almost 2 seconds, and Nikita Mazepin is just going now. car has made its final stop. Let's check in on Verstappen again. Nope, he's back out of the pit lane. We're good there. There's so many different strategies, so many different pit stops happening right now. Tough to keep track of what's scheduled, what's not. 32 laps to go. However, that being said, 24th place, if Gundy hangs on to 13th, might be enough for you to hold DFL in the standings through 2 races. I'm not certain. Now that that's all straightened out, well, first off, let's go on board with Mazepin here for a lap or so. Let's go through the field one last time. Settle in. The end of this race. Nikita Mazepin is your leader. D. Kuzmik, second place, was catching up to Mazepin for a moment. Vidal Sainz sits third. Good race for him. Haley Geegan sitting fourth. Harry Labonte, fifth, up 26 spots from when this race started. Will Power in 6th place. Yo Gamer in the 56th is 7th. Carl Edwards, who has had one hell of an up and down day, is somehow here in the top 10, sitting 8th. Travis Pastrana led a good chunk of stage 2. Wrecked me and Jordo. That's beside the point. Sitting 9th. Juan Pablo Montoya was 10th, now 11th. Getting passed by Squid. Dale Earnhardt Jr. sitting in 12th right now, Gundy 13th. Smee will sit in 14th. Mark Martin on the inside, not for position. Bill Elliott 15th. Caleb just behind. Caleb and Ash side by side for 16th and 17th. Natalie Decker also led in this race at one point or another. Sits 18th. Max Verstappen 19th. Mark Martin, first car a lap down, I do believe, is 20th. Lucas also a lap down, 21st. Pat led every lap in stage 1. That's where it all fell apart. He sits in 22nd. Then we've got Austin, who's up to 23rd, with Jeff, who has sat in the pit lane probably about 10 laps now. Very unfortunate. Evo had his problems today. Ran into Jacques Villeneuve there at the very tail end of stage 2. He sits 25th. Jeff had a top 10 going, all ended by Nikita Mazepin, 25th, or 26th rather, for the moment. Hot and now, well, either. Slow and beat up is the 13. My car sits 27th. Ricky Bobby back out on track in 28th. Jordo 29th. Fuck Peaches one more time, potentially. Bobby Labonte 30th. 31st is Red Wings, and again, Tony Stewart and Rowdy Burns are out of this race, and there it is. Debris caution redeemed. Busch light can on the track. Caution will fly. 25 laps to go. 5 laps before that gets disabled. Well, what could be the final restart here at Homestead will be with 21 laps to go. Green flag is out. Both cars on the front row get away just fine. Mazepin and Kuzmik. Somebody threw a beer can on the track, screwed over Nikita Mazepin. Can he win this race? However, Ashman played right into the hands somehow of the 38 of Hailie Deegan. The 38, the highest up in the field it's been all day, sitting in second place. Having to fight off Will Power, Terry Labonte. Head to the back of the pack yet again. Watch this travesty. Let's see if everyone makes it through the opening stages of this green flag run. All right. .13th on back on the restart. Had the fresh tires. Even though they weren't too deep into this stage, but maybe, just maybe, Bill Elliott and Evo got real close. Then Bill Elliott and Ricky Bobby. This is why, right after the green flag, we've come back here, because this is just stupid. We got very lucky with actually seeing a lot of the incidents happen in that first stint of the race. I thought I heard somebody crash into something there. Well, they get location of anybody crashing. See if anybody comes down the pit lane. Everybody looks fine for now. Thought I heard somebody just very lightly run into the wall. Back up front. I don't think it was one of the cars that pitted, but Will Power is running down D. Kuzma. This could be the best fight we've had up front all day. These cars with fresher tires are able to make some moves. Power closing in again. Not close enough yet. Again, I keep hearing that what feels like somebody hitting the wall. Goodness, the 48 car. Out of nowhere, top 5. Last place in Daytona. Four chat cars in the top 10. Anyone else really making any moves? Mazepin's down to 11 after that restart. Squid 13th, Ash 14th. Pat, I do think, is the first car one lap down in 20th place. 14 laps to go from Homestead. Hell, if you're running to the fence at this point, just try and live with it. Way better than falling down with everybody else. Bud shootout winner at 48. Another look at who your biggest gainers and losers are of the day. The biggest loser, of course, is still Rowdy Burns, down 30 places. From where he started. Terry Labonte plus 23, Power plus 23. Travis Pastrana is into 3rd place. And look here, we've got action for the lead. The 48 battling the 33 and Pastrana lurking behind. How is Travis Pastrana actually going to get away with this? Look at him off the high side as the 33 got loose. The 60 of Travis Pastrana got a goddamn lead. Coming around for 11 laps to go. This is just cruel. Cruel and unusual punishment right here. Max Verstappen in the pit lane. Have any damage here? What happens here? No damage on the 87 here. Verstappen riding around just fine. Oh, the 43 came up and doored him. Peaches gets revenge for Revo. The live action, 9 to go. Travis Pastrana out in front. Kuzmic close enough. Nobody home free yet. Austin made the pass on Max Verstappen. 22nd place for the 4 car. Seven laps to go for Pastrana. Only so much damage that can be done for Max. I think he will all his laps all the way back to 15 laps down, so see how it goes. Coming around to 6 to go. Will Powers made the move for second spot. Kuzmic back around the outside. Better race for the win here at Homestead than we did at Daytona. Who would have thought? Gap just rolling in 0.3 seconds. Kuzmic closing in just a little bit. 0.2 seconds now. He got just a tiny bit loose out of 4. Lost him all that time that he had made up in the corner. Maybe right now Kuzmic just a little bit better in the corners with 5 to go instead. Will Power make the move to the inside. Power closing in. Oh, we got loose on the exit as all of a sudden the race for the win is heating up. 4 laps to go is about 5-6 cars in play here. The 33 might have a bumper to the inside of Pastrana. No, got the run from Carl Edwards. And Pastrana holds it off for now. Three laps to go. Carl Edwards in second. Got a great run, and he's going to dive to the inside. Carl Edwards to the lead at Homestead, but Pastrana comes back on the high side. Is that the last chance? About a 0.4 second gap now to Verstappen. Or sorry, Pastrana. 2 to go. I don't know if anybody can get up there unless the 60 has a problem. Edwards and Kuzmic running side by side. Pastrana's got the gap about to half a second here. Edwards is closing in again. problems for Bill Elliott down there on the bottom. Let's take a look at that post race. I don't know if that car was moving or not. Final lap from Homestead. Edwards is in close. Bill Elliott did make it to the pit lane. Was that Pastrana? Did Pastrana just hit the wall? I have no idea. He was up there. Edwards got loose on the bottom. That looks like it's going to do it. Ugliest paint schemes to ever exist in NASCAR. The Stamp 60 car, Travis Pastrana, will come out of turn 4 and win race number 2 of the NASCAR Chat Series at Homestead. Pastrana, then Power. We've got Carl Edwards there on the final lap. D. Kuzmic will finish 4th. Dale Jr., Gundy, B. Dollar-Sign, Squid, who was just dumped on all day. Smee. What the hell is that? Terry Labonte rounds out the top 10. Gamer 11th, Caleb 13th, Ashton the 16th. 94, Bill Elliott picks up some damage here somewhere. Where was it? Oh, Lucas. That'll do it. Damage wasn't as bad as I thought it was on the 94 car, but he still hit something pretty hard. Yeah, that right front looks... Well... That wraps it up. Race number 2 is all over, and it is Travis Pastrana who wrecks his way to the win. Unbelievable. 60 car wreck, 2 cars in the first 20 laps. Somehow avoided another couple of wrecks throughout this race. What a bizarre day for him. But overall, it was a little bit more chaotic than I thought it was going to be. A lot more incidents than I was expecting, even once we bumped up the smoothness of the AI drivers. Next race out, we are back to Super Speedway racing. Late April, we'll be at Talladega. Right now, scheduled for the Wednesday before the Spring Talladega race. So that'll be our next one. Race number 3 of the NASCAR Chat Series of 11. And then Talladega is the last race before we enter the month of May. And we get into the chat-only All-Star race. And then, of course, one of the big ones, the Coke 600.